Okay. So thank you, Adam. My Futures Primer is intended as a small guide for anyone looking to explore future studies and develop a foresight mindset and futures and foresight skills. And it's not a secret that I'm quietly advocating to integrate facilitation more deeply in futures and foresight practice. And one of the key direction of this guide, or my guide highlights, unsurprisingly, is of course facilitation. And it's equally no secret that you, Adam, along with Fabrizio Ferraco and Per Christiansen, are a significant mentor and inspiration for me. So thank you for your support in helping us give space and meaning of facilitation. So let's start with the meaning of facilitation. Your extensive experience now provides us with a more expansive and, let me know, nuanced understanding of facilitation. I really appreciate your latest books because in your book Facilitating Breakthrough, I read the title because I don't want to being wrong with this. Facilitating breakthrough, how to remove obstacles, bridge differences, and more forward together. Because it's simpler in Italian because we have facilitare la svolta, so in Italy it's easier to pronounce. And you present a bold redefinition of facilitation. And I want use your own words because you shared that you want to offer a radically bigger definition of facilitation. So could you help us to navigate this perspective? What do you mean by radically bigger definition of facilitation?
Well, thanks, Nicoletta, and thanks for your new book. What I mean by facilitation is not simply standing at the front of the room next to the flip chart or in a Zoom box, but more fundamentally, helping people work together to do together what they can't do separately. And the link immediately to futures and foresight work, the way I think about it, is that we're working together not simply to adapt to the future, but to shape it or to transform it. And that's something we can almost never do alone. We have to do together, which means we need to collaborate. And what I mean by facilitation is just enabling collaboration. So that's what I mean.
What do you mean to enabling collaboration? Because especially in some professional and business context, there are a lot of nuanced collaboration, but a lot of time there are ineffective collaboration.
Yeah. Well, it's not easy to collaborate, especially with people who are different than you, who you don't necessarily agree with or like or trust. We collaborate because primarily because we need to in order to achieve what we're trying to achieve, and in particular, in order to be able to create a future which is different from the present. So by enabling collaboration, I just mean supporting a group, a diverse group, to work together.
It's not easy. It's easy to explain the effect, but it's not too easy to practice the changes. In your view, how can transformative facilitation, because is your your mantra, the transformative facilitation, enhance the futures and foresight process, particularly in situations where there are divergent or conflicting visions of the future?
Well, I start with this question of what are we trying to do that requires us to work together to collaborate, and in particular, the dimension of foresight and futures work that I have been focusing on is not simply studying the future or adapting to the future, but shaping or transforming it. And that's something none of us can do alone, and that requires us to work, including with diverse others. So that's the emphasis of the facilitating work that I've been doing. Facilitating actors who together want to and have the capacity to shape the future.
Well, as you mentioned, to shape the future means that transformative facilitation is designed to refine and redesign the way to the way how people think, how people collaborate, and also how people take action, what we call agency in the futures and foresight practice. So, how do you believe futures and foresight can foster deeper transformation, not just in a group dynamics, but also in the individual's behaviors? Because, of course, we can reshape the future and reshape the way how we act in the present as individuals, and as individuals connected with other groups. So how can we reshape the way how we can think and act?
Well, we're using the word transformation in this conversation in at least three different scales. We're talking about transforming the world of which we're part. That's in general why we are coming together to do this work. Why are we collaborating? In order to transform our context. In doing this, in working together in this way across our differences, we're transforming the dynamics amongst us, and in particular, paying attention not just to the idea of a shared challenge or a shared opportunity, but also to take account of the differences between us, not only our commonalities, but our differences and conflicts. And that's important. I think that's one of the things I've learned is it's not sufficient only to focus on shared interests and shared objectives, but to also take seriously differences in understanding and interests and perspectives and identity. And thirdly, and through doing this, we transform ourselves, or we have the opportunity to transform ourselves, how we are, how we see our role and responsibility vis-a-vis the situation, vis-a-vis other people, how we understand what it is that we are doing and need to do. So I think of these transformation at these three scales as interrelated in that way.
Interesting. Just a curiosity as a last question. In your opinion, and from your perspective, what are the main challenges to remove the obstacles to integrate the facilitation and the transformative facilitation in futures and foresight practice? Because, not only futurists or professional futurists or foresight practitioner are facilitators.
I think the fundamental difference in all facilitation, whether it's about foresight or anything else, is that it's easier, and for many people, it's the default mode to just tell people what you think the truth is, or tell people what you think they ought to do, or tell people what you think is necessary. But that doesn't work in a context without hierarchical authority and without deference, and where we need everybody's participation and perspective to be able to move forward. So moving from imposing to collaborating, uh, including to collaborating across real differences, this is challenging.
Thank you so much, Adam, for sharing your perspective and for your generosity.
My pleasure.